What's up, everyone? Welcome to Yours Avenue. My name is Darren, and today I want to talk about what's happening with this Power Ranger project that's coming out. I know we are a comic book YouTube channel, but if you're a comic book fan, you are a nerd, equals you had some love with the Power Rangers, specifically probably the original Power Rangers in the 90s. And so obviously they're trying to rehash or redo what they did in 2017's Power Ranger movie, which was actually, a failure in box office wise, but I feel like it was actually a good movie. There were some problems with it, obviously, but I think it was better than I imagined. And yeah, so now they're trying to reboot this whole franchise. And last week we heard that they assigned a director onto this project, Jonathan Entwistle, who will be overseeing. I guess they're gonna make a cinematic universe, interconnected universe for the Power Rangers with the film and TV universe. And Jonathan Entwistle, who was also the director for I'm Not Okay with This on Netflix, which is great, by the way. He's going to be overseeing it. He's going to be like the Kevin Feige of this franchise. And today, they actually signed on a comic book writer slash screenwriter, Brian Edward Hill, who was also the writer for Batman Detective Comics, Batman The Outsiders, Killmonger. He even directed, or he even wrote for Titans as well. So this guy has a long list of projects related to comic books. So he's in that nerd space culture. Keep in mind, sometimes the writing on Titans is not that great. Yeah, that's a whole different conversation. But they just signed onto Brian onto this project. I even tweeted to Brian over his about his reaction to being signed onto the project. I was like, "Congrats! Don't f this up." And he actually liked my tweet. So so he understands the stakes and what he needs to do, and if he fails, it's going to be really bad for him as a career and for this franchise. And I think one thing that that kind of like startled everyone when we heard that this whole franchise was going to have like an interconnected universe with film and TV was that they're jumping the gun too fast. Hasbro is jumping the gun too fast, especially after the massive box office failure in 2017. So the movie that came out a couple years ago only made 140 million worldwide. That is crazy. The first weekend, it only made 40 million, and even though it didn't get the best reviews on Rotten Tomato, I think it was like around 40%. I thought it delivered. I feel like the trailers. I feel like it delivered what the trailer was trying to promote, and it kept the same tone. I just felt like maybe it focused too much on the kids' like emotions and where like they're outside of the suits. I feel like we didn't get enough Power Rangers. We had too many kids that were so in their feelings and they're so emo. And so I felt like I feel like a lot of it was that. And yeah, I don't know. Besides not seeing enough Power Rangers, I totally loved it. The last like 15 minutes when we got the Power Rangers finally was awesome. The chemistry with the characters and the actors was great as well. It's just that we spent too much time outside of the suits than in the suits, and that's my only gripe. And so, yeah, I think it was still good. This specific version that's going to come out, apparently it's going to be taking place in the 90s. I don't know if that's going to change anything for people that didn't watch the movie. I don't know if that's enough like attention grabber for people, or I don't know who they're trying to target. I don't know if they're trying to target people like me that watched it in the 90s that are around their 30s now. I mean, I'm gonna watch it regardless because I'm a nerd. But people that aren't not in our space, I don't know if that's enough to grab their attention. People, they might take their kids, they might not, but I don't even know if kids these days even watch Power Rangers. So the question is, like, why are they making another movie, and how are they going to be different from the previous years? Because if you're just going to just change the era and make it into make it 90s theme, I don't think that's going to work. I know there's that YouTube video. It was like a short film on YouTube where these guys made Power Rangers super like violent and deadly. There was like blood, guns being used. It was tight. I think that sparked conversation to make the 2017 version of that. But obviously they couldn't go full on violent with the guns and blood and like spilling blood. It's because if they did that, you know, you're diminishing the purpose of Power Rangers and what it represents. But if they did go that route and made it violent, made it bloody, and just kind of just spun it on its own and just kind of went for it, I think a lot of people would actually go for it because people around our age, right, in their 30s, right, so if people like around my age, I think that's enough for us to be like, you know, like, because when you hear Power Rangers, right, and if someone says, "Oh, you're gonna watch that Power Rangers movie?" Oh, that looks like it's for kids. Hell no. But if you see Power Rangers and it's like more adult, you know, with foul language, you know, just because, you know, just to separate itself from the younger audience, make it violent, bloody, just go all out with the, you know, the foul language, just make it like ruthless, right? I think that would be enough to be like, oh, this is a different kind of Power Rangers, not the ones that we were used to as kids. It's more adult and it's Power Rangers on acid, right? I think that would be cool, and I think that would be enough for people that haven't been interested in the franchise to be intrigued and actually go into the theaters or watch it on streaming or whatever. So I think that would be honestly the only way. If they're gonna just keep it, you know, PG-13 and just only making the movies just for the sake of toys, I don't think it's gonna be enough to get, you know, the older audience like me that grew up with it, that want nothing to do with Power Rangers anymore. I don't think you're gonna get their attention. I don't think many kids are into Power Rangers nowadays. I know Power Rangers has a huge fan base. I know one of my friends, he's like super into Power Rangers and he's like in his 30s. You know, people like him are gonna watch it regardless. I think that's where most of the box office came from, was from the diehard Power Rangers fans, and maybe they brought their kids and got them onto the, you know, got them on the franchise. But and everyone else that was just like interested, but apparently it wasn't enough because they lost so much money. I think the budget was around 100 million, so a huge loss. And I'm curious on what they're going to do with this new franchise that they're going to make. And I think they're jumping the gun on like trying to start this whole like Marvel Cinematic World with a Power Ranger franchise. And I think that's jumping the gun too fast because you don't know if it's going to be successful or not. I'm comparing this to like what Universal was trying to do with Dark Universe. You know, they tried to launch a universe with all the monsters with Mummy, and it wasn't successful, right? And they were promoting it and they were trying to say like, oh, we're gonna start this whole cinematic universe, and it just never happened. And it's kind of embarrassing. So I hope it doesn't happen with this one, but if there's anything to learn from the Universal situation with Dark Universe, is that you want to see how the first movie works out, and then, you know, if it's successful, then branch out and start a universe. Just like Iron Man and just like Man of Steel, how they started their own universe. See how it works, see how people react, see how much money it makes, and then determine whether or not it's worth building a cinematic universe. Especially with Power Rangers, it's kind of crazy. You know, if it was to happen and it was successful, I'm all for it. I feel like it's uphill battle for Power Rangers because, you know, I feel like Power Rangers, it was so successful in the 90s, primarily because, you know, I think, of course, because of, you know, what Japan was able to do with, you know, the action scenes and how different it was, and then how what America was able to do with the Japanese scenes and, you know, spin it on its own. I think what Americans did during that time was special, and it was perfect timing because in the 90s, you know, kids were into karate, and, you know, like for me, I was into karate. Karate was a big thing, and I remember watching like Power Rangers and just trying to do the karate moves, and I think that was a huge thing. And now kids just love superheroes, right? And it doesn't have the same effect that Power Rangers did, and I think that's why that it's left in the 90s. I think that's why people love the original so much, because not because of the karate stuff, but this nostalgia factor, and of course the rivalry between the some of the characters, and it was a perfect time. And I think it's really hard to replicate right now in 2020, and it's a huge uphill battle. And kudos to Brian and this guy Jonathan, the director, for trying to make this work. Hopefully it works out. But yeah, I just wanted to put it out there because this is a very interesting franchise, and I would love to see it be successful. But it's going to be very hard, and it definitely takes some guts, something that we never seen with the Power Rangers, and to really get us on board. And they definitely have to push the envelope and really cater to the adults, not just the kids. So yeah, let me know in the comments below whatever you guys think about this. How you guys feel about this new Power Rangers franchise? Do you guys feel like it's going to be successful? Do you think it's going to be a bomb? Or are you right in the middle and you just you have no opinion yet? You just want to see how it works out. Let me know in the comments below. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you guys again. Bye.